So, Suzanne, what does it actually mean to do the inner work? That's what your book's called, after all. In fact, let's just pop up the title. What does it mean to do this inner work? Um, and can you give us some examples, particularly focusing on things that might be useful for people working in leadership, collaboration, and change?
Yeah, I think examples are good because it can be a bit like thoughts and emotions. What does it really mean? So the way I would summarize what inner work means, it actually means to be curious about what's below the bonnet. And let's look at some examples. So for instance, we can probably all recognize that there are certain situations where we feel a bit insecure, we don't feel confident, maybe we lack confidence. Not all the time, but in certain situations. And I think in a project context, what might those situations be? Well, I need to present, I need to meet a new stakeholder, I need to do a team kickoff, or maybe even worse, a workshop where we talk about what we expect from each other, or requirements gathering. I don't know. There could be many situations where I feel uncertain or lack confidence. And in those situations, I think the inner work will really help us. In fact, it's the only thing that will help us. Somebody telling you something externally is not going to make you more confident. So in this situation, we could look at, well, what am I telling myself? Am I telling myself that I don't know how to do this? That's going to exacerbate my feeling of lack of confidence. Am I telling myself that, if this goes wrong, I'm going to get fired? It sounds drastic, but actually there were some thoughts that I used to tell myself when I was leading projects. I used to catastrophize. Well, it's because you look at me, but the two project managers before me on this program had been fired. So I actually had this unarticulated fear.
I think I had a project where I was a third project manager as well, and yes, I can relate to that.
Unfortunately. So looking at what am I saying to myself? Am I exacerbating it? Am I catastrophizing? Because we have a tendency to catastrophize. And actually, what am I feeling? Well, I'm feeling anxious. Okay, where does that anxiety sit in my body? Well, let's say I feel butterflies. But instead of putting a lid on these butterflies, can I allow myself to feel them? Yeah, but then it's going to get worse. Actually, it is not. It's counterintuitive, but if I can say, okay, I can feel my butterflies. I feel tension right now. I feel anxious. Can I just let them be there? Actually, the feeling will be processed and it will diminish. It's really quite extraordinary. And then we can also work with situations where I have felt confident. So can I have another image in my mind? Can I recall a situation where I felt confident in my body? So these are all inner tools that are in the inner world that can help me feel more confident. And I might give you another example too. And that's an example where, let's say, I'm overworked, I'm stressed, I have too much work. Who doesn't recognize that? It's hard to set boundaries because, again, if I say no to yet another project, or if I go home now, whereas I still have more work to do, how's that going to reflect on me? Is that going to show that I'm not capable? Are they going to choose somebody else for the next project? So again, I have a fear that comes up in me, which makes me maybe not set boundaries, not say no, not delegate, but it's creating overwhelm for me. So doing the inner work in this case is really about understanding what are the patterns that are causing me to overwork myself? What is the fear in me? What is that thought in me saying? And am I trying to compensate for not feeling good enough or strong enough or clever enough by overworking? So, and that could go quite deep with asking questions like that.